Hey there, everybody. It's Leanne Oaten here. And if you're new to me and you're one of the new gals that has just joined in, we've had several new women flowing into the group, which is amazing. So if you're new to me, if you're not sure who I am, my name's Leanne Oaten and I'm a holistic health therapist. And I specialize in helping women to thrive on all levels. So working with adrenal fatigue, emotional eating, food and body issues, depression, anxiety, and stress. Those are my main jams and the areas that I love to help women really overcome and to really learn that the only way we can really thrive on the outside is if we're thriving on the inside. So that's the bottom line of my message and the work that I do, and my why is because I have been through some pretty challenging health issues myself, and getting through those, which I never thought I would ever be able to get through, has led me to doing the work that I'm doing now to help women overcome those exact same issues. So today we're going to be talking about listening to your body. This is a really, really important message. So grab a pen and paper because you'll probably want to take notes. I've prepared a couple of 2 pages of notes. So take notes as something comes to you as I'm talking, or just things that stand out. A big part of the reason why I have embraced a holistic approach to my counseling therapy. I've been practicing as a holistic counselor for the past 6 years in private practice. And I knew when I was finished my schooling that I would not be just practicing as other mainstream mental health professionals might be practicing. I knew that I was going to do something differently. And this really spurred from my life experience in and out of different therapies and looking for mentorship and help when I was going through my depression and anxiety. And I just always felt like every time I would go and see somebody, I just something was missing, and something was really just not there, not present, that I needed. And I couldn't really ever figure out what it was. It just felt like I wasn't getting any of that deep soul healing with most of the counseling therapy that I had. So, and it was the same thing with my health issues, going to a physician, like the doctor, that couldn't really tell me what was going on. Everything was normal according to tests. And so I was just really, really frustrated with the whole system and how I feel like it's flawed because there's so many people out there suffering with burnout and all these health issues from burnout that are not showing up on health tests or on labs. Um, and we're going to counselors to help with our depression, and we're handed prescriptions to medicate those feelings away. Now, I'm not saying I'm totally anti-drug, anti-prescription. I believe that there are times when that is a medical necessity, but I do feel like it is way overused. And I often see clients who come to see me out of desperation, and they're on 1, 2, 3, 4 different kinds of medications, which started off with depression or anxiety, and then it's sleeping pills, and on it goes. So my message today is really about listening to your body and knowing that your body's messages, whether it comes through mental imbalances or emotional imbalances, they're there to teach you something. They're there to teach us what we need to know. They're not there to be annoying and for us to just silence with something to make it go away. We have to learn to listen. So the mind can always trick us. We can always overthink things and go into that thinking mode, or just silence the symptoms through outward measures like pills and drugs and different things like that. But the body never lies. So if your body is giving you clear indications that something isn't right through the symptoms, that's how the body speaks to us, is through our symptoms, to say, hello, something's not right here. Now, I'm just saying I was definitely there when I had my really chronic fatigue and severe burnout. I was really frustrated because I didn't want to be tired and feel like I had no energy to do the things I wanted to do. And I would try and just bend it around in my mind, like, the guilt and stuff around, like feeling like I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do because I was so tired, and I would fight it and have this guilt and like, why can't I just get through this? And why is this such a problem? But I wasn't actually back then really listening to my body in the way that I'm going to teach you about right now. I wasn't actually listening to the symptoms for the soul level purpose and what they were there to teach me. And it wasn't that I needed to jack myself up with more caffeine or take some kind of energy pills or go on an antidepressant or an anti-anxiety medication. I knew very, very deep down that that was not my purpose on this earth. My purpose is, I believe now in hindsight, has been to find a way through this using natural methods so that I can give hope to those who would like to find the root cause and soul level reason for their issues, and for those that are on medications to perhaps get to a place where they don't need them anymore, or at least maybe don't need as many. So, and I have helped clients actually do this. I've helped clients just naturally with the help of their doctor. I would never ever say go off your medications. That would never be ethical on my part. But if a client comes to me and says, I don't like that I'm on all these medications, then we work toward finding the root cause of what's going on. And quite often they're able to reduce, come off, or completely just not need medications anymore. So I'm going to offer you 3 ways that you can use your body connection to help you in your health and in your life. So number 1, when you're experiencing any type of physical body sensations or symptoms, is to check in. So know, okay, my body is speaking to me in whatever form it is, if it's stomach pain or an instant headache or some kind of pain or discomfort, something that you notice. You notice a bodily sensation or a symptom. Okay, my body is speaking to me, so what is it trying to tell me? And I'm really attuned to this now. It comes second nature to me because I've learned how to speak to my body in this way and really have this dialogue going, and I trust my body now when before I didn't trust my body. Is to ask that symptom, like, what is this? Like, what is attached to this? What's the emotion and feeling or story behind this emotion? So if it's fatigue, which was my case for many years, it's really just skull numbing fatigue, like you can't even imagine. What is it here to teach me? Like, what is it that I need to learn? And what is behind this fatigue? Well, now when I have times when I have that fatigue come in, it's very, very seldom, and it's short-lived because I'm able to shift it now, thank goodness, is I can look inside and just really inquire about, and I feel like it comes from, for me, it's some resistance. I tend to get overwhelmed. I have a very sensitive nervous system. My mind tends to just really be super overactive. I'm a very big thinker. I'm a big thinker and processor, which is a strength, but also to the extreme of it's a weakness, and it can cause some issues. And so now when that fatigue comes, I'm looking at what areas of my life I'm feeling helpless or disempowered, or where I have some resistance to the next phase of my growth or health, or maybe just where I need to go take 10 minutes and do my best to turn my mind off and just sit and be with myself. Like I said, because I'm a big doer and a big thinker, I need to balance that out. We all do. We need to balance it out with just some silence and just being. I apologize for the thumping. I have 2 girls home with colds today and they're jumping around. Apparently they're not all that sick. So definitely looking at the symptom and what it's trying to teach you, and try and pinpoint the emotion or story that's behind that symptom. So this fatigue is serving me in. It's making it okay for me to not do those things that I know I need to do. It's not making me have to, I'm so tired, I don't feel like making videos for my business to grow my business and create my dreams. It's coming up so that I don't do that extra workout that day to, lift some weights, and because I know that there's that resistance to going to the next level with my health. It could come up in any different way. So it's going to be different for everybody. It's like your story behind fatigue is going to be different than mine, and just look for what the story is and what the emotional connection is. Number 2 is when you have a decision to make. Perhaps you have 2 different options as far as a decision. There's this way and there's that way. Is to sit with that. And this is what I do, is I sit with the feeling for each one. Like I'll sit quietly in like a meditative state, and then I'll really fully consider the one and just imagine what that would be like, what that would feel like, what that might do for me, what the pros, what the cons might be. Like just really embody and feel into that. Not thinking about it necessarily, but just feeling into it. What does that feel like? Does it feel heavy in my body? Does it feel liberating? Does it feel exciting, inspiring? Or does it feel heavy and overwhelming and stressful in my body? And then you go to the second option or third. So it depends on how many options that you have. But this is a way to use the body as your barometer. Does this feel right to me? Does working with this person feel right to me? Does joining in this business venture with this person feel right to me? Does, taking on this new health idea that I've heard feel right to me? Right? Because I obviously listen to I follow a lot of different health experts, and because I'm always loving to learn. And you're going to hear different things about this is the answer for you if you want to lose 10 pounds or you want to, get rid of this fatigue. It has to feel right to you. So trust that, because there's a lot of different options out there. It can come as simple as like when you're trying to choose a different like face wash, even, because there's like 10,000 different kinds. And it's just like which one feels right. Even you can go as far as like with different supplements is just, having two in your hand and just going with the one that feels right. So you can just play around with that in smaller ways and in bigger ways, just following your body, following your intuition and your gut feeling, because that is going to be what will lead you in the right direction if you're connected to it and you actually listen to it. Because we can connect to it and then not listen to it, which doesn't really do us a lot of good, right? So paying attention and then acting on that and just playing around with it with smaller things for now, just to see, rather than going right into big decisions, but feel your way through decisions rather than think your way through. And then number 3 is when we're talking about nutrition and food and fueling our body. Again, there is a plethora of information out there. I've written blogs on it. I've written an ebook about nutrition, and my take on it being that I have studied it really intensively for the past 10 plus years. And I have my own philosophy on nutrition, and basically it's that we need to fuel and feed ourselves from a place of body connection, like knowing what's right for us. And I've spoken to this before about how a vegetarian lifestyle might make one person thrive, and that might be the answer to their robust health and reversal of their health conditions, which you hear that, or vegans that say going off of animal products was what cured their incurable diseases. And so for them, that's the truth, right? But that doesn't mean that that is true for you or me. And I've tried all of those different things in the name of trying to shed body weight, trying to heal my body. And I actually got sicker. And so you'll hear people who are vegan say, well, then you just weren't doing it right. You weren't, eating enough beans and legumes and all these things. But I was really careful to be very balanced with what I was eating. And I wasn't eating like the fake meat products to try and compensate for that. I was really like trying to get my nutrition through plant sources, and I was not thriving. So for me, and also you have to take into account your blood type. My blood type, if you look into different blood types, I am a meat eater. I need to have meat to thrive. And so the day that I literally started eating, I had a piece of steak, I felt like my body was just like thanking me because I wasn't thriving. So this is just an example of listening to your body. Now that doesn't mean that maybe there will come a time maybe where I'll go off of it again just to have a rest from it if my body feels like it, right? You have to just listen to how your body is thriving best and what it actually needs. So I hope that's making some sense. And the idea is that you're listening to your body as the authority. You're definitely gaining new knowledge and studying and reading and listening to people talking that have sort of been through some things that you're working through. Definitely listening to that. But even everything that I say, I don't I don't say take everything I say as gospel truth. You have to take the bits that you hear and apply those ones that feel intuitively correct for you, not the things you think you should be doing. So again, it's just back to listening to your body. So what are you craving? Are you craving, I know there's times when I go through, I'm craving certain things more, and then I'll have them for a while, and then I'll be kind of sick of them and onto something else. There's times when I feel like I need to really just clear out the sugar for a week and just completely go off of all sugar and cut out the glutens. I don't eat a lot of gluten anyways. The breads that I eat, if I have any, are the sprouted grain, organic, the whole food ones, the less refined versions, but I'm very even minimal with that. And the only reason that is not because I think carbs are bad. It's number one, that the refined flours and stuff are known to be inflammatory, and I don't feel as well. So it's paying attention. I feel better when I'm having clean, organic meats with my meals. When I'm having lots of fruit and vegetables, things like that, I feel much better when I'm eating that way than if I'm filling up on breads and carbs and muffins and things like that. Those things don't work well for me. So when I'm away and I'm kind of forced to have to eat on the fly, I tend to start to not feel very good because I'm not eating as clean. So I've learned to feed myself from that place of what feels best in my body. And I teach this inside of my Mind Body Radical Self-Love program, which I'm putting together right now. We go more into depth in that about how to really use your own body to discern what the proper nutrition is for you. All right. So just listen. Just start listening to your body. Start paying attention to what it's telling you. Understand that the symptoms are there as your messenger. They're not there to just annoy you and frustrate you, although that might happen. That they're there to teach you something. Our body's pain signals and symptoms are kind of like that alarm bell that says something's not right. So if you are somebody, like I was, that would just mow over baby mice to get your morning cup of coffee just so you could function, there's something going on there. It's likely very much related to adrenal health. And I hear people posting or talking about how, they have to have that coffee just to even function. There's people who drink coffee all day long. I don't know how you could ever do that. I would just be a nervous wreck. But I do have one coffee a day. If I have more than that, my nerves are frayed and I don't feel good. So again, it's listening to my body. If you are someone that needs to jack yourself up with caffeine all day long, that is a big red flag. Your body is saying, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, and you're reaching for artificial stimulants to jack yourself up, and you're just further stressing your body out. You're going to have more fatigue, you're going to need more coffee, because as we know with addictions, you eventually start to need more and more to have the same effect. So you're going to find you're going to need 5, 6, 7 cups a day maybe just to maintain that. So that is something just to pay attention to. Many of us aren't paying attention until our body goes into a crisis mode of complete burnout or something going on that makes you stop in your tracks and you're going, where did this come from? But there was signals all along, you just weren't paying attention. So if you have chronic fatigue, if you have hormone issues, if you're suffering with headaches and migraines, you have that coffee addiction, dependency, you're addicted to sugar, and you have all this going on and you feel like shit, then there's something that needs your attention. So stop silencing the alarms with quick fixes and look to the root cause, because I'm telling you, if you don't and you ignore it, it just gets louder and louder and comes up in so many other different places. And the other piece to this, without going too far off topic, is that there is an emotional connection to all of this. There's also things in our life that can be happening that come up through our body. So if there's something that is going on in your life that you are trying to avoid dealing with, maybe you're just ignoring it because you don't want to deal with it. Let's be honest. You got to be honest with yourself first. It's going to start showing up in your body in some way. If you don't speak the truth or deal with it head on, then your body will speak it for you. And I've seen this in my life so many times. So when I have something going on, I'm always looking at the deeper meaning in everything. And so if this really resonates with you and you would like to get on a call with me, we go really deep in my sessions and we go into this kind of stuff that really, really helps my clients shift through the blocks and just feel empowered to take action. Because if you're stuck and you're suffering and you're not in a good place, chances are pretty good you're going to be in that same place if you keep doing exactly the same thing that you've been doing that's led you here. So we have to reverse engineer almost to where this might have started and deal with that root issue, or it's just going to start cropping up in different areas of your life. So I am offering a limited number of 45-minute sessions for $40, which is it's like 85% off of my normal regular rates. And this is not like a discovery call like I do my free discovery calls. This is an actual session where we will dig into one or two of your top issues like I was just doing here, and we will tackle whatever it is that you have going on, and you'll leave that call with clear action steps about what you need to do next. And you just have to remember that all illness of the body and mind is an invitation to come back to yourself. It's your soul asking for you to listen. And it's up to you if you take that and actually do something with it or not. Bust through that fear of what's on the other side if you decide to deal with the real root issues. So I've had 6 years in my private counseling practice working with countless women and seeing them come through the other side, and it's a beautiful thing. And I credit that just to my own journey and my ability to really hone in on what exactly is going on intuitively and energetically and emotionally. It's not just about let's talk about your thoughts and your depression. Let's find a solution. Let's move into the real issue of why you're depressed, why you have anxiety, because it's not one pill away, to finding your answer. It's in here. We need to look deep into that. So if you're someone that really likes the idea of, and it's work, of doing the hard work of that inner processing and inner work and having to do things differently and making steps every day toward where you want to be, then working with me will get you there much faster. However, I only work with people who are action oriented and are really willing to do the work. So if that sounds like you and you're ready to bust through onto the other side, then definitely get in touch with me. I'll also include my link to the Breakthrough Burnout program that I've created. It's only $97 and it's a totally holistic foundational plan if you are going through fatigue, hormone issues, headaches, carrying weight around the middle that won't budge no matter what you do. There's so many symptoms. It's all on the sales page. You can have a look. I've tried to cover everything on there. So if you are finding too that you are really dependent on sugar and coffee to get through the day, this program helps you with dealing with coming off of the sugar addiction and dealing with your emotional triggers to food. So if you've got this sort of bunch of things going on like we've just talked about, this program would be a really good next step for you if working one-to-one with me isn't right for you. But again, you can get in touch with me through private message and we can figure out what the right thing is for you to get you to where you want to be. All right, guys. So I hope this was helpful and that you were able to get some good nuggets of information and inspiration. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye for now.